I'm actually the guy from this picture. That's the last game on. You've seen that at multiple adverts of this game on. So then this picture, say that's the first game on. Yeah, I've been there, spoke there, helped to organize it a bit, just a tiny bit. Then say this one, I'm actually sitting on the stage at also an event here in Lithuania. The reason I'm sitting on the stage because I was presenting to a young crowd. And it's very, very hard to present to a young crowd, but like after a while when I kind of eventually got in touch, the young crowd got camping like it was a rock concert by the stage, and so I wanted to be closer to them. And say that here, I'm kind of explaining game development to teachers of beatandbyte.lt, right? So, and then we ended up helping them prepare a game dev course that is now being used to teach kids programming. Good for him. Now more than 100 kids actually use this training that we co-developed to learn programming games actually. So then Lithuania loved game devs. Did you see this sign ever? Ever? No. So that's actually the logo that we co-developed with Minister of Economy of Lithuania. They used to be interested in games. Actually, they still are. So a while ago, I used to work for a company called Unity Technologies. Who knows Unity in this? Okay. Andrews doesn't know Unity. He's actually the employee of that company, right? So lots of games that you guys play actually were made in Unity. So I was an employee of that company who worked with Minister of Economy to bring game dev to this country. And then we co-developed the logo. And here, actually people from Lithuanian Ministry of Economy along with Lithuanian game devs like sitting at Gamescom. Who know what Gamescom is? Who's been to Gamescom? Oh no, but that's the biggest show in Europe and it's like lots and lots of people and lots of games. You should go there when you grow up. Good. So, right, so, this thing. So that's San Francisco, and like that's the GDC San Francisco, probably the main event for game developers worldwide. And I helped to bring some Lithuanian teams over there. So with all that, I'm just trying to say that Lithuania used to be my kind of pet project for a while. So I've been in this industry for a long time, and I helped a lot with the with local game dev industry, and also universities. So in lots of universities here in Vilnius and Kaunas, there is a game dev courses, like trainings, and I helped to co-start that. So again, when I was at Unity, we would give universities our software, like Unity, and then we would also lend our employees, so they would teach at universities. So this is why in different like colleges and universities and schools you have game dev. So, right. And also, that's one more slide, actually, what I've done in this life. So that's the levels of development. So the reason, yeah, I wasn't born in Lithuania, I'm Ukrainian. I learned a bit Lithuanian when I lived here, so as you say, yeah. And so now I work for King in Sweden. You know King, right? Yes. Correct. Candy Crush. Anything else? Blossom, Blast, Saga. Anything else? Shuffle Cats? Yes, Shuffle Cats. Okay, so we make lots of games. These games are played by millions and millions of people. And yesterday, have you been to the concert yesterday? Good. One person from the room has been to the concert yesterday. The rest shall know there was a great concert yesterday. Good. Also, I've flown around the world a lot. So say that's the stats from last year, more than 100 flights. I meet with teams of various scales, like indie teams, bigger teams. So I kind of know the drill, I know the crowd. And so as I promised, I spent 10 minutes to help you understand, like, yeah, I'm kind of the guy who a bit knows something, so you may want to listen to me. Now the presentation. I actually don't do normally like this much slides about myself, but I figured out like I'm gonna face the millennials and they're gonna be with all their phones and they wouldn't care about what I'm saying. So I tried to position myself. Hopefully it worked out. If not, then help me improve my slides. Now, so let's set a bit of the context. So the games industry. What I love about this particular show, that it's not a game development conference. It's not like a game convent where you just come over to play games. It's like the whole game culture thing. Since like games industry, I mean like someone is making games, right? So that's art, that's code, that's narrative, that's design, that's sounds, I mean choreography, animation, cinematics, someone drops concepts. So like someone is making games. From the other side, there's someone playing games. So like again, professional as a business, so that's esports, that's streamers, that's media, PR, YouTubers, salespeople, actually like retail, then events, right? So it's cosplay, it's swag, it's marriage. So what I'm trying to say, this whole industry is so huge, like you can view it from different angles, and you still can be like part of that. You still can figure out, okay, where am I in this industry? How am I useful? You may be not, you know, a great programmer and still find yourself useful in this industry and like still be part of like, okay, so we can say I am in games. And you know what? Like my guess is that the whole games culture thing is so huge that no one really in the world kind of comprehends the whole thing. Just because it's so huge. So let's look at it from the angle of a young person, right? Like, so maybe you're 15, maybe you're 16, maybe you're 18. So like, what kind of choices do you have? So the first choice may make your mom happy. So like you play games and then, you know, you enter a proper university and become a lawyer. Like your mom gonna be happy, your neighbor's gonna be happy, everyone's happy, but you won't be probably part of games industry. Yeah, one mom on the first row doesn't agree with me and it makes me so happy. The second choice is probably the most common choice, unfortunately, I would say, that people enjoy games when they're young. And then when I'm asking, so okay, so what's next for you? They're like, I kind of suck at programming. I cannot really draw. I don't know. I kind of play. I love Counter-Strike, but then I'm shit. They don't let me play professional. Like, so people don't know what they can do well, and they end up, you know, yeah, I kind of like being with the industry, but I don't know how. And the third choice, like that's my favorite one. It's also a very rare one. When people like from the very, very young age, they understand they want to be part of the industry and they go for it. They learn programming, they learn art, they actually play. And like the key thing here is that it's okay that you pivot, that you do different things, that you like today you're trying to learn programming, tomorrow you're trying to, you know, to do some art, and the next week you decide you're okay, so I'm in sports. So the key thing that I mean I want to tell you from my like this, you know, years of experience, that it's fine that you don't know what you're doing well today, because what really matters is that you try and go through all the steps. And it's yes, like you're farming the experience in different things around the industry. That's yes, but also you're getting friends, lots of friends, and this kind of like the bubble, the community, the network that you're building. That's what's important, because you're 16, but say you're 18 or like, and then your body is of that age again, and you never know if your body gonna become, you know, the next Kojima or next Brian Fargo, and you know, you just met at the game jam, right? But you have this connection. So the network is important. Also, you know what? Like I mentioned Brian Fargo, Kojima, but like those are males. Any female heroes for you? I have one. Say Melina Jurgens. You know who that is? Hellblade, Senua. you haven't played Hellblade? How comes? But you should. But you should. I mean, Hellblade is awesome. And that's AAA enough for you, I guess. That's indie AAA, though. So, okay, right. So those are the choices. Now let's see how does the game industry see influencers. So like I kind of architected this talk for influencers, for those who play games, who have followers, and then the question is, okay, so what's next? What do I do with like people who follow me? Can I earn like $10 from that? Maybe 100, maybe 1,000? So like what are the opportunities? So let's see how does the industry see the players, like the players with followers. That's the definition for influencers probably. So what's the industry, right? So like people who make games. It can be 3 guys in a bedroom, right? It can be a huge production with hundreds of people. Say King is 2,000 people. And like triple A games, the kind of games that you pay 50 euros for, they're made by teams of hundreds, sometimes hundreds of people. And you know what? In lots of cases, working in a bank, you know, like doing boring Java work, is very similar to working in this kind of companies. You just like, you're doing a very, very small thing. You know, you come to work like at 9, then you leave at 5, and then you have lunch, and like that's the thing. And it takes like years and years and years before you make it. So it can be like huge, it can be small. It can be mobile, it can be desktop, but the thing is that like people making games, how do they connect to the players? Well, maybe forums, their forums. Sometimes they watch your streams. The key thing, how do they talk to you? How do they find you? Like especially those of you who are younger than 20 years, how often do you check your emails? Once a week, once a month? Do you even have an email? Right. So also, like, how do they write you in the Facebook Messenger? Like, so that's the angle you may want to think about it. Okay, if you want the game dev talk to you, figure out how do they talk to you. What are the contexts that you're living? Then the thing is, why overall, like if these people making games, they're making games, they cannot figure out how to talk to you, why do they care about you? Or like, do they care about you? The key thing that they actually care, because like there is media and you know the journalists. The thing is that not so popular YouTuber with say 3,000 followers, in lots of cases helps to sell the game much more than a good journalist. So like an article in a relevant media is like, yes, like it generates some downloads for the game developer, and that's what game developers cares about, right? When the game is shipped, it's eventually when the game developer starts like earning some monies. Like, you know, game developers spends a year, maybe 2 years without getting any income, and then the game is released, and like, okay, I'm so hungry, I wanna eat eventually, like, where is my money? So that's why game developer cares a lot about the sales. They also wanna eat. And that's where the streamers, where YouTubers come over, and like that's why I'm watching like this space from this angle, and I wanna help you watch it, like help comprehend game developers from this angle. Like they care about you because you help them generate sales. That may sound a bit like sad and ugly, but that's how it is. And the main thing under this slide is that in modern game development like world, industry, YouTubers and influencers help to sell the game much better than media, than PR, than journalists. So somehow you are so relevant now. So what are the point of interactions? I've stated before that like game developers don't know how to talk to you. Yes, and that's why there is so many agencies, like websites, like when people wanna have a website, they go and outsource it to somebody, like via special service. I see similar services for YouTubers and influencers, like a brokerage pages. Like, you know, the salespeople in the suits, or like even the robot who can like kind of connect different, like game developer with the influencers. Does it work? I wouldn't really say today. I think it's evolving and it's developing, and I think there is a better way. So there is game jams. Have you been to game jams? Like global game jam in Vilnius, in Kaunas? 3 hands. 4 hands, 5 hands. Come on, people. So, okay, so okay, it's 7. You should do better. So game jams. I understand, like, if you don't know how can you be useful at game jams, you still have to attend to kind of understand what these people making games, what they think, how people do games. And also, at game jams, it's not only lots of experienced people who are, you know, who know what they do and like make games, lots of young people who don't know what they do. And people go to game jams to figure out how to make games, and that's good. Also, indie game festivals, like when young crazy people showing crazy games they wouldn't be able to sell anywhere. This is how you meet people. This is how you figure out the next things, and these are your opportunities, like to connect to these crazy developers and maybe make a show about their game, about their project, like. Even at this event, like the indie showcase, right? So there's most of developers here are quite small, but that's the opportunity. You can talk to them and suggest them, hey, like you're doing this, whatever, helicopter game. I have a special angle to make, you know, a show about your game. And like this is how you find these direct connections, and then eventually, like, this is how the monetization come over. Like you make a free show and then you say, you know what, like I can do more, and this is my price. Or like, let's think how we can work together. So these direct connections, these direct interactions, especially with the smaller teams, with smaller developers, is a good point kind of to leap over the first, whatever, 100 euros earned from the industry. And also, like, obviously, there are people with much more followers than you have. But then these people also cost so much more to work with. And so it's fine that you have 1,000 followers. It's fine that, you know, your videos generate 1,000 views. It's just, if you have these numbers, that's already very good. You just talk, like, you show who you are and what you are and what do you have. And in lots of cases, game developers, especially the smaller ones, would be happy to work with you. And then you'll explain them how to make their game better. And then you understand how actually the games are made. And then you may actually figure out, okay, so this is my place in the industry. So that it kind of helps mutually. Now, what's this picture about? So the few of you who've been to Gamescom, right? So the Friday at Gamescom, 9 a.m. looks like that. Lots of people, right? Lots of people. So at 9 a.m. the gates get opened and the crowd is like, ah! So I want to talk about future now. So I've kind of tried to outline what you have today, what you have now. Now let's see what's next. This is my view, right? So I might be right, I might be wrong, but I think the next iteration of game dev events is that it's not game developers who have stands and show their games. It's actually YouTubers and streamers and influencers, you know, who sit and do the shows. And the line like that is the actual, you know, game developers who line up to show their game to streamers. So that's, I think, going to be the next iteration of game shows. Now, casual and mobile game streaming. Have you seen any cool mobile game streams recently? A bit, yeah, so I see two hands. So the truth is, people haven't figured it out yet. But I think, in a few, maybe years, maybe less, you know, when if you decide like, yeah, let's see what's there on Facebook, you figure out that your mom streaming Candy Crush Saga has more followers and her videos get more views than yours. So casual game streaming is getting there. And say we at Kin, we have technology to kind of explain, you know, say players of casual games that they can stream. It's fine for them to stream. It's cool for them to stream. We're teaching, pretty much, we're teaching your mom to be an influencer. And it's not only Kin who does that. And I think that's very cool. So another next thing, I think that's the streaming of game development. So lots of you have made lots of followers with Minecraft, right? So you create some things, something interactive in real life, or say Roblox, right? Also like lots of, like you just create something interactive in real time. So I think very soon all those neural networks who can animate, you know, who can like create animations, who can neural networks gonna learn how to create art. So you, as a streamer, will be able to create games in real time. You like imagine visual scripting, imagine like robots creating arts, robots creating animations. You just like funnel this stuff into a game, and that's what you're streaming. So I think that's those three things are the next iteration of well, the influencer, streamer, YouTuber community. Those are going to be the next things. Now, what was I trying to say here? Oh, so those 3 points were like maybe 2 steps ahead. Maybe 3. Now let's think about what's kind of a common thing today, but you may not see it. Like maybe 1, maybe half step ahead. So kind of content that you make, say silly jokes, jargons, something offensive. Everybody knows about latest PewDiePie's thing, right? Swearing. So I think that's gonna get regulated. So if you decide that, okay, this is my stream, I'm going to be swearing because I like it, I think it's very soon that your stream is going to be labeled as whatever, 18 years old and plus. So if you say a swear word, you won't be able to cater to younger audience. And then it's your choice. It's same as today is with games and with movies. It's just going to get regulated. Then language. You are all streaming in Lithuanian, right? No. And no. A pleasure to my ears. English. So, I mean, if you're streaming in Lithuanian, then what's your potentially, like, theoretical maximum addressable market? Even if you count all the, you know, grannies and kids and their dogs, your maximum addressable market is 3 million. If you're streaming in English, that's like a few billion. And then if you have a small pie of 3 million, and a very, very small pie of few billions, that small pie of 2 billions is still much, much larger. So that's one angle to that. Another angle to that. You cannot really sell yourself, like, or it's very hard to sell yourself if you're streaming in Lithuanian, just because, like, it's, yeah, it's just harder. How do you make yourself interested? How do you make the game developer interested in this small market? For example, streamers who stream in Spanish or in Portuguese, they can do that. Just because the Portuguese and Spanish communities are so large in this world, and these people don't really speak English So it makes sense to hire a Spanish or Portuguese streamer because you cannot reach that audience anyway. So, and like, would you, as a game developer, hire a Lithuanian streamer to reach Lithuanian audience? Maybe not. So, another thing that I think is happening today, but you may not notice, is that production is getting more complex. It's still that bedroom view that you're getting from the streamers or from YouTubers, like a guy or a gal in their bedroom, in their room, you know, like with the bed that hasn't been made. I think that's gonna remain because that's the cozy, that's the natural feel. But the production behind this video is gonna be like, or is, 10 people plus. Like the actual producer, you know, and the lights and all that. But the feel remains, you know, very, very indie. Like the feeling stays like there is a one person doing all that. Cool. Now, what if for the last 30 minutes you haven't been listening to me and have been in the phone actually? So let's try to recap. Let's try to recap. So the main points of my talks were that, one, probably you cannot really talk to game developers, and this is fine. You cannot find the common language. You cannot find the common vocabulary. And it's same from their side. And this is okay. Just try hard. You know, they're gonna try hard, you're gonna try hard, and just try, just iterate, and then you figure it out. Then figure out what you actually can do well, like a one-liner. So I am what? What kind of videos generate most views for you? Like, I'm a best whatever Minecraft player. I'm really good at like this particular game or this particular genre. Just like one-liner that you can present yourself with. And if you don't know, if you cannot figure out that one-liner, well, I mean, just iterate. Like, try different things until you figure out the one thing that you can do well and the one thing that you enjoy doing. So hopefully that's still one thing. Not always, but sometimes. Have numbers. Like whatever. I have 2,000 followers. My streams get, whatever, 1,000 views. I mean, those numbers may seem small. And your neighbor, say, may have much bigger numbers. And this is okay. Just have the numbers to position yourself in the industry. Have numbers to present to developers. Like, hey, I'm doing this, and I can generate like this kind of views or something. It's okay if the numbers are low. Just, you know, just have that. And the final thing, I mean, that's a very non-obvious one. I keep repeating it over and over, and I'm gonna do this again. Be nice, be kind and open and accessible. That's the basic rule of this industry. Be nice to young people, because they're gonna grow up, and maybe they're gonna be actually your next boss. It happens, and this is fine. So be nice to young people, because they're gonna grow up and kick your ass. Be nice to old people, otherwise you end up as a whatever lawyer, or, I don't know, Java developer. And that's, I mean, the games industry is all about the passion, is all about the science, is all about the experience. So be nice to everybody you meet. It's like the one main rule here. Now I have a video of kind of culture that we have at King. It's not super relevant to this presentation, but I think it kind of helps to view like how does the brain of a 2,000 people game developer company works. We tested, it worked.
Welcome to another legendary King for Market adventure. This is another lifetime memory to chalk up.
This Info Market is a really important one. It's about ambition and it's about innovation.
Innovation is a hot topic. It really is.
Innovation just needs to suffuse everything we do so that we don't stand still and just think that the way we did things yesterday is good enough for tomorrow as well.
So I think innovation is going to require us to loosen up our belts in some of our processes, perhaps. We've done it before, and I'm very sure we're going to do it again.
At the Funky Meet today, we talked a lot about diversity and inclusion. I love the fact that we've been working on this for a few years now. It's great to see that it's something that's driven not just within HR, but also outside of HR.
What's really interesting is to see that people are talking about it, not only within the Funky Meets, but they're taking it out of those sessions and mingling at coffee machines. So it's been talked about at a lot of different levels, which is really interesting.
Here at King, we take diversity very seriously, and we're very proud of having a diverse work culture. It doesn't matter who you love, as long as you love.
I came from Activision Blizzard. I've been following King for quite a bit of time because I was involved in the acquisition. So I'm super excited to be here and just get to know the company and everybody around.
Briefly, The Fold is a game engine which is very easy to use creatively and express your ideas in, but also takes care of performance, so making sure that whatever you make in it will be able to ship. It's a great way for people to see more what it's like to make King-style games and try it on their own.
I'm just trying to find an L-shaped one.
This kind of thing.
There's a lot of things that we've learned so far. We've also shared with the QA folk here. So I think opening up these doors and creating these relationships is extremely important.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
The whole nub of the exercise is all around making different groups work together in perfect harmony and have a lot of fun, because Infomarket is all about coming together and having a wonderful time with your team.
King is a small place. It's always going to be a small place, and the reason it is a small place is because it really starts with the people. And the way that you affect it is you have to have an opinion and you have to share it. And everybody does that. And I think it demonstrates itself in every interaction. A lot of our colleagues are talking to each other and we're pushing each other, but it's also in an incredibly playful way. And so we live it, we make it, and we just get to see it when we're here at King for Market.
Gaming is an art form as much as it is a science, and there's a lot of areas we need to experiment. There's a lot of places we can improve by trying something we haven't done before. And innovation means not being afraid to do that.
Let's get this one underway.
So this is how life of a game developer looks like at King, at least. Obviously we also work hard, but otherwise we party a lot.